Alright, what's up guys? Okay, so I want to get a couple measurements. From the center of this ball to the center of the coupler it goes in, 7 inches. Okay, now we got all the weight of the trailer on the truck. So you can notice it's squatting pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these measurements right now, write them down on my phone, and then come back to you guys. Got all the measurements in. I'm gonna put them right here below. And I'm just more of like a visual person, so I'm gonna have these typed out of what it was stock, what it is now, and then now we're gonna go put those weight distribution bars on and figure out what's gonna happen next, and see how the whole truck kind of handles it. How much are we gonna gain lift height with those in the back now that we've pretty much sagged it all the way down on the, yeah, we're on the overloads. So let's see what happens, see if we can get off those overloads now. Right now I'm gonna jump over to putting on these weight distribution bars. I'm gonna play with it, but maybe about 6 links or so, but I'm gonna let you guys know. All right, we are on 6 links over here. All right, we're completely off the ground. It looks a little bit better. Let's see where we're at with this. So it looks like we gained on the left rear about 1/4 inch and pretty close to 1/4 inch also on the other side in the back. Alright guys, now we're on 7 links. I can only really do one more because 8 was a little too much and I didn't want to mess with it because it was already starting to bind up when I was trying to tighten it, and yeah, I don't think it's smart. Okay, we're off the ground with the jack. So let's go see what measurements we got. All the measurements are done. I'm going to do the same thing I've been doing. I'm going to put those below and tell you what the difference was. It's not, jack's not holding it up at all. These or the, whatever you want to call them, these pieces of wood, they're not going to be moving if I did that. So we're going to go get those Deavers on and let's do this again. Very interested to see what it does. We got 5 total springs in the stock pack, and the Deavers that I have are a total of 10. So we're doubling the springs. All right guys, that wraps it up. Time to go get the Deavers on and let's do all this again. Let's get all these measurements and park it exactly where it was at, and you know, go from there. I definitely want to see what Deavers do when it comes to towing. I didn't buy it to tow because I don't tow very often, but when I do, I want to know that it's capable. I mean, this is a 2500 and it's designed to tow, but I also want it to ride nice. That's why I bought the coilovers in the front, and it only makes sense to complement it in the back and not leave it stock. Let's get some measurements and then see what it does with the weight distribution hitch. She's off the ground. Let's look. See, I spent so much money on that on the front end of the truck. Why not have some Deaver springs? There you go, baby, right there. Even says American Duramax on it. Why not have some Deaver springs in there to complement the rear? Like it only makes sense that, you know, there's a lift kit that is, wow, like 6 to 7 grand. I don't know, I'm brain farting right now. And then obviously in the back of it, I opted for a 3-inch rear block because I ran the coilover down. And then I picked up some Fox reservoir shocks because I didn't want the mono tubes that it came with. You know, and then I have some upgrades and stuff on the front, some Cognito parts that I had from before, like tie rods, Pitman idle arm support kit, the sway bar, stuff like that. So gotta complement the rear, and if you can, great. Because for a lot of these guys, it's just it's not about the money. I mean, at that point, and wheels and tires, I mean, you're 10 grand into it. What's another $1,000? Your $75,000 truck. You want it to ride amazing. So I think the misconception that I had, you know, even growing up and partially kind of still did, is that you're gonna lose towing capacity. And we're gonna do that next. I've towed this trailer a million times with the truck sitting, you know, with the block and U-bolt and several different combinations, because you guys know I've changed the lift kit and everything so many times. But now we're gonna try it with some Deavers. I have done it with Deavers in the past that were a 4-inch lift, and they're from Cognito. On the front end, I had the 7 to 9 kit, and that was a torsion bar setup, so the front rode differently too. But point being, that was a little different setup. I mean, the front, I had it at like 7.5 inches, so I was raked already a lot more, so it already made it to where, I mean, you can see it now. Jeez. I mean, look at the truck. It's not diving real hard to the back. You know, that's pretty respectful right there. And this trailer is not small. I mean, this is 29 feet. And it's loaded in the back with toys. I mean, from front to back. So there's some weight in this thing right here. And still don't need springs. Airbags, geez. Imagine if I didn't have springs. So yeah, and then just to show you guys, I mean, that is, if you can't tell, off the ground. I mean, see, I just kicked the blocks over. So here we are. But anyways, this is kind of it for part 1. This is really important because if the nose of the truck's sticking in the air, you don't have, you know, the braking power that you would. I mean, that's why these things come the way they do from the factory. They want you to basically be sitting close to level once you put a trailer on it. So, you know, that is important, and it does tow a lot better that way. And I'm not, I look like I work at General Motors. I don't. And I'm not going to pretend like I do, but common sense tells you that's exactly why they do what they do. And you know, if you're sticking way up in the air in the front, which I've done before on this truck, not fun. Don't like it. There's no response in that steering wheel, and then that also, your stopping power, you know, in the front of the truck's next to none too. You're relying on the rear of the truck, your exhaust brake, you know, or the brakes on the trailer. But you don't get the front like you normally would, or you should. So this is important, and this is why I want to do all the measuring and stuff. I want to be like, well, how's the truck going to sit? I know how it's going to sit empty, because you can put a softer spring in there and raise it up to the air, and you're good. But when you put weight on it, what's it going to do? And we're finding out right here that we're not losing much. If anything, may even be gaining some, because the measurements I'm seeing, you know, the Deaver is just giving me a little smidge extra of height, which we're talking very minimal, and we're going to see that in the specs when I edit this video, because I'm not going to stare at all the numbers right now on my phone where I wrote it down. We're going to be able to look at all of this stuff and the data, and I just think right there at the end of the day, getting Deavers is 100% worth it. And whether that's an add-a-pack, if you don't want to spend the money, or just getting a full leaf pack, you're not losing anything. And that's in this scenario, which groups a lot of you guys. Even some of you guys are running a triple axle and you're running more of the toys in the back and having less tongue weight. That's all you're looking at right there. That's tongue weight. It's not that the truck can't pull it. We know it can pull it. But at the end of the day, you know, the guys that are running goosenecks and fifth wheels, obviously this video is not for you because I don't have that right now to test. I do have a B&W flip over hitch, but I did not get measurements prior with a gooseneck to be able to tell you. I imagine that if I was running that kind of setup, I'd probably still run airbags because you're probably towing a lot more. Again, the speculation. It all depends how you load the trailer too. You got a tandem axle gooseneck and you got a wide spread on them. You know, we could go on for days. But at the end of the day, without rambling on too much with you guys, here it is. Here's the truck. Here's how it sits. Whatever that data means to you, let it mean to you. If it means nothing, oh well. But I'm gonna tow this thing next, and then we're gonna air down a little bit, get it down to, I don't know, let's just say 20. We'll figure it out when that time comes. And I want to see how this thing handles in the desert. I mean, I got coilovers and Deavers in the back on a full-size Duramax. I know it's no trophy truck or anything else, and I'm not trying to be, but I want to see how this thing handles off-road. Is this suspension just good for the streets, for curbs, sidewalks, whatever? But I will tell you, going into driveways and everything and potholes, and it's just a whole nother animal. So I'm excited to see what it does empty and towing. But I can tell you right now, for the way it's handling the weight, it is just blowing me away. I don't know why we would need airbags until we got into something much bigger and heavier than this, and especially at the tongue. So that's it. That's all I got, guys.